Beadahlique.com, and I'm so excited to be here. I bet you might think, what are we doing on a Tuesday here at Beadahlique? And why is Deb Floros on my screen? Well, if you missed our live last Tuesday, Julie Bean and I chit-chatted a little bit and shared some techniques. And we also shared that with the closing of Beadahlique, we're going to party to the very, very end. So we are doing some extra lives. So Julie Bean is going to be doing her normal Beadahlique live on Thursday. She's also doing a show on Mondays, and I'm going to do a show on Tuesdays. So you can find me here at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, 10:30 a.m. Western. Where am I? So I'm going to be here and helping to party all the way to the end of the close of Beadahlique. And I have to say, I'm sad because I've been a Beadahlique customer since I started making jewelry about 15 or 16 years ago. So it makes me sad, but I just want to celebrate and enjoy this wonderful company all the way to the very end. And Julie and I have committed to having some fun with you. We're just going to party. Like, we're going to bead party all the way to the end. So guys, let me just check and see who all is here. Hello, Eric and Michelle. Eric and Michelle are in the background today from the Beadahlique team. Hello, Monica from Rhode Island. Hello, Santa Barbara girl. Sandy, hello. These can be made with some things we're going to have in the show today. Jane Moore is here. Hello, Jane. Lisa, yes, Beadahlique is closing. If you had not heard that, after 25 years, Beadahlique is closing its doors, but they are open for now. We're going to hang with you guys as long as we can, and everything at Beadahlique.com is 20% off right now. So take advantage of those things that you love from Beadahlique because everything is on sale. Judy is here. Hello, hello. Tracy is here. Hi. Susan Gray is here from Shreveport, Louisiana. I bet it's a little steamy there today. Hello, Monica. Thank you for watching. Thanks for being here. Hi, Tanya. Hi, Helen. Hello. Oh, Jane is in Michigan. Lorraine is partying from Chico. I heard Chico's kind of a party place. Lisa is from Canada. Hi, Lisa. Terry B is here. Let's see. Tracy is going to get in touch with Eric. Jazzy K. She's bummed because this is her first live. Jazzy K, we're going to be here as long as we can. So hang with us. You can find all of the lives at artbeads.com. I'm sorry, not artbeads. Gosh darn. I knew I was going to say that. Beadahlique.com. I just did my art bead show yesterday, so I've got it on the brain. Sorry about that. Beadahlique.com is where you can find our lives. Oh man, at least I got it out of the way. Okay, Margaret from Virginia is here. Julie P, hello. It's hot in Arizona, I know. And Leah is from Houston, Texas. Hello. Guys, we are going to party today. So as I said, it is June 24th. So if you're watching live or you're watching the replay, June 24th, the Beadahlique.com closing sale is at 20% off of everything. You don't need a code. You don't need a coupon. Everything is marked down 20%. So don't miss out on your goodies that you love from Beadahlique.com. So everything I'm working with today is 20% off. So if you've never been to one of our lives, we've got a few newbies here today. The way that it works is if you're watching here at Beadahlique, oh my gosh, Beadahlique.com/live, that is how you can get the most bang for your buck for this show. So you can talk to us in the comments. I can see you, I can see your comments, and I can see who's here, and I can see you chit-chatting with each other. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, I won't be able to see your comments, and we're going to encourage you to come on over because we're also going to be doing a giveaway today, and I can't see comments. We can't see comments from Facebook or YouTube, but we love that you watch us there. So if you don't want to come over and don't want to participate in the giveaway, we understand, and we'll catch up with those comments later. So you can also share this show if you so desire. There's a little curved arrow on your screen. You can send that to a beading bestie or a group of friends. They might want to see what's going on today. And you can shop the show. So just a quick tutorial on shopping the show. So there is a little symbol on the screen that looks like a little bag. You can shop the show anytime by clicking on that. I've got everything in my show today loaded in that shopping bag. And what you can do is click on that. You won't leave the show. I'll get smaller on the screen, but you can still hear me and see me. And you can go and take the products that are in the shopping bag and put them into your shopping cart. And you can do that all while you watch. If you're watching on replay, don't hesitate. You can still click on that shopping bag and you can load up your cart. We just always encourage you to check out before the end of the show, because store's closing, things are 20% off, and some of the things are already in limited quantity. Whew. All right. Beadahlique.com/live. Come on over. We are going to have a party today. So I'm going to flip my camera around. We'll talk about the giveaway and some other things as we go. And what we're going to do today is have a sparkle party. So I don't know if you guys have seen these Mr. Kitty sparkle crystal bead extravaganza beads. So these are bead mixes that are all crystal. Now I've got some things on top of them. I'll talk about. These are Czech crystal beads. And we've got several different shapes and sizes available. Some have already sold out, but these are from the Czech Republic. You're probably familiar with Chinese crystals and Austrian crystals, both kind of on opposite ends of the cost spectrum. All very nice, but I think one of the coolest things about these crystals is that they are from the Czech Republic, which is unusual. I had never seen crystal from the Czech Republic, so this was kind of a fun find for me, and I was excited to get these into my collection. I'm going to give you a couple of my other thoughts about these. So when you get these home, I'm going to take these earrings out, you get this many beads and then some, because I've already worked with some of these beads. So when you get them home, you get this amazing color collection. So all different colors of the rainbow, all different beautiful shades that you can work with and integrate into so many projects. I love to have something like this available to me in my jewelry studio because I never know when I'm going to need a little bit of sparkle. So you can just pop these into into an organizer, a bead organizer, or keep them in their bags handy, and you can grab them whenever you need some sparkle in your projects. So I love that these are Czech, that they are multicolored, that you get so many of them, you get so many projects out of these. So I've had a blast working with these, and I just wanted to give you, for starters, some ideas on how to work with them. And we will make something today, but I want to show you some things that I've already made, thinking that you might maybe want to try some of this out. So let's start with these, and let's see who else is here really quickly before I get into that. Tracy, I don't know the exact amount, but maybe Michelle or Eric can tell you exactly. I don't think it's a bead count, but it's a weight. And Tanya says they're gorgeous in person. So that, that's an endorsement there that somebody's seen them. Piper is here. And Christy says beautiful sparkles. So thank you guys for all of that. So first I thought I would show you these. So let me move this out of the way. These are 6mm faceted rounds. Now I have worked with these already. So there are a few missing from this one, but you'll see these are spectacularly faceted, round, beautiful Czech crystal beads. They are a myriad of colors. So there's yellow, there's pink, there's blue, there's red, and everybody will get, a slightly different number of colors and different color combos because this is all just mixed up at the Beadahlique warehouse and popped into bags to get them off to you. So these were a great find in the warehouse, and we are sharing them with you. And when they're gone, they are literally gone. So these are wonderful. 6mm is a great size, and something that I like to do, one of my favorite things, and it's super zen, is to wire wrap beads onto a frame or onto a bangle. And some of you may have seen me do this if you follow me in other places. But I took, this is just a simple bangle. This one, unfortunately, is not available. I'll show you one that is. But I took some, I think this was 24 gauge wire, and I just wire wrapped those beautiful beads onto a bangle. So you can wrap them all the way around, or you can just do a few like this one. But this is one of my favorite things to do. And having so many beads like this, you can do, different ombre shades. I was kind of going for a little fall vibe here. But you could do all blues, you could do all yellows. You could have so much fun with wrapping these on. So that's something I like to do. That's an idea. And this is a bangle that is actually, you can open it. This is available. So this is in the shopping bag today. So if you click on that shopping bag, you'll find this in the shopping bag, and you can drop it in your cart. Of course, it's 20% off. This is a tiara cast gold plated brass 12 gauge bracelet component. Now you could literally just wear it like this, or you can wrap some beads on it. So similar to this, you could maybe wrap some beads along here or all the way or almost all the way around. You can also add a charm if you'd like once you get the beads attached. And I picked out this one. This is also tiara cast, and it is a peace charm. So one side says peace, and let's put it out there. We can all use some peace right now. So this is a beautiful, lovely two-sided charm. Look at the dove with, with all that extra detail on it. This is beautiful. So this would be lovely. Just get a couple of jump rings, attach that on, and then you've got your beads as well. You can even attach it here, and all of your beads can be wrapped around the edge. So this is one way that you can use the 6mm Mr. Kitty Sparkle Crystal Bead Extravaganza Mix. I don't recommend trying to say that 10 times fast. So these are beautiful. I love the 6mm. They're just a really cool bead to have in your stash. So that's the first one I wanted to show. Now, the second one I want to show actually is another one I used to do some wrapping. And this actually was with another one of these bracelets and this one is like a sizable bracelet. This one also not available, guys, but the gold one that I shared is available. And these beads are 4mm rounds. So they're just a little bit smaller. I'll show you the comparison here. So you've got your 6 and your 4. The 6 is on the left, the 4 is on the right. These are so sweet and adorable. And again, that mix of color, there's purples and greens, and there's a crystal clear. This is just like a feast for the eyes with all of this color. And I have used some of these. So you get all of these and a little bit more. And I'll show you, I did some wrapping of the 4s onto this bangle. And I just did some simple wrapping all the way around. This is a great beginner project. Just start with some wire, do a few wraps at one end, add your bead, wrap a few more, add another bead, wrap a few more times, and you've got this beautiful, fun, sparkly bracelet. And then this is like a little, I don't know, a little rosette that I wrapped on to the bracelet. And I did this kind of in a strange way. So I actually put the beads on head pins and wrapped them onto the bracelet. And then I took some wire and just wrapped around all of the head pins to create this fun little cluster. Oh, Julie P., thank you so much. I enjoy doing this so much. Like it's one of those things like I hope that others will enjoy too, because it's such an easy project, but has such a fun way to display beads that you love. So this is a fun project. You can easily do that with the gold bangle that you've got. And let's face it, we all have some bangles in our jewelry box that maybe just need a little extra love. So put some sparkle on them and you've got a really fun project. So these little 4mm rounds are just delicious and sweet and super fun to work with. And if you just keep these in your craft room or in your jewelry studio, you can grab whatever you need for a really long time. And I'll be honest, I would grab at least one of each of these mixes, and then you've got sparkle for a long time to work with. And here's another charm. If you wanted to do silver, I've got another tiara cast charm for you. So this is a tiara cast pewter floral heart pendant. It's 20mm and it is also double-sided. This is so lovely. I think these are maybe lilies. I'm not 100% on that, but the detail is really, really amazing. Hi, Kathleen. Thanks for being here. So this can be attached to a bangle, to a bracelet, whatever you want. But I thought the tiara cast charms, since they are also 20% off, might be something that you can combine with your sparkle and with your bangles. So those are 2 projects. Now, one more bracelet project. I just made this yesterday. So I decided to sit down yesterday and play around some more with these beautiful beads, get some more sparkle in my life. And these are really cool. These are 5x3mm. And they are, I believe we're classifying these as a spacer. So these kind of look like a bicone, but they're a little flatter. So they're like a little, like somebody took a bicone and squished it. Like they're just a little squished. They look maybe a little bit more like a saucer, but they're so much fun. And again, look at all of the sparkly color. There are some opaque ones. This little opaque one is such a cool color. Squished bicones, Piper. Yes. There's this one that kind of looks very ethereal, almost like an angel light. There's just so much here. And I have worked with this too. So look how much is in this dish. But I've created with it, and then I even created this memory wire bracelet. So this project I had so much fun making. I love a good memory wire bracelet, and I love just kind of stringing on the beads, and I used some Toho demi rounds. So I thought that these squished bicones would go well with the squished seed beads. So if you haven't worked with demi rounds, this is the color I used here. It's a silver lined frosted crystal. And these are like a half seed bead. So these are like a squished seed bead. And I don't know if I can really get you a good view of that one, but it is just a squished seed bead. And these make great spacers. So these are spacers, sort of, and then you can put these other spacers in between the spacers and look at just the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful beads and combinations here. Jan, can someone please advise where we can shop once you close? So maybe Michelle or Eric can share some advice there on what the story is. I think once we close, if you want something from Beadahlique, it is no longer going to be available. But I see Piper is suggesting art beads, which you may have heard me flub up earlier. I do some work for art beads as well. So you may, that is always an option, but please feel free to shop the sale at Beadahlique until we close. So this is about 2 rounds of memory wire. And I literally just did a bead and 3 of the demi round seed beads and another bead. And I just put all of the beautiful colors on, and then I picked another beautiful tiara cast charm. I think this shape is out of stock, but I put a couple of other shapes in. This is an antique pewter reversible jardine round, and you see it's double-sided, and this one actually has 2 different designs. So when this flips around, you get some really cool beautiful designs on both sides. So this is fun. I'll put this on so you can see how this looks. Really fun idea for your Mr. Kitty Sparkle. And again, this is the 5x3 millimeter bead, and it is a little squished bicone. So super fun. Pick yourself up the demi rounds, a charm. You could even use this floral heart that we looked at a little bit ago. So there's lots of options for you there. Now, bicones. Everybody loves a crystal bicone. I think it's probably one of the most popular bead shapes that exist. These are always incredibly popular. People love working with crystal bicones. So remember, these are crystal from the Czech Republic. So they are different than the Czech or than the crystal beads you might be familiar with from China or from Austria. But they are a really lovely quality, and in this mix you get a ton. So I've worked with these just like the others, and I've got a lot left. There's pinks, there's an olive shade. I love this olive color. It's really, really beautiful. And there's like a big, bright, like magenta, like a pinkish magenta color. Gorgeous, gorgeous beads. So I decided to just do 1 pair of earrings for you. And I combined these little yellow ones with these very cool connectors from Tiara Cast. So these are also 2-sided Tiara Cast connectors. So they've got a loop at the top and a loop at the bottom. And I'll flip it over. They look exactly the same on the other side. And all I did was grab 3 ball end head pins, and I wire wrap directly to that bottom loop. You can always use a jump ring if you would like to attach your little bicones. But this is just a really fun way to grab any color that you prefer. So if you want the little blue bicones, or you want to go with these bold kind of pinkish magenta, or you want to go dark. There's some really beautiful like black with AB on them. You can do whatever you would like, but these little connector pieces are so much fun to display these beautiful beads. So this is just really, really stunning. Easy peasy, and this is a nice size earring, not too big, not too small, and lots of detail on them. Great for the time of year where flowers are blooming, because they are that beautiful flower design. So this sparkle 5mm, this is a great size, kind of that in between. Maybe 6 is too big for your project, 4 is too little, 5 is just right. So that's a fun size bead. Okay, before we do a project, one more fun mix. This is actually a mix of strands, and I separated them because the first thing that struck me was you've got a 4th of July trio in this mix of strands. So you've got red, blue, and then clear, which kind of goes white. And so if you get this one home to you right away, you will be able to start making some 4th of July earrings or bracelets or something fun. You could wire wrap these onto a bracelet and make a fun, really cool 4th of July bracelet. But you'll also get some other colors as well. This one kind of looks like Angelite, a little bit more blue. Hi, Zakaya. So happy you're here. Some green, some gray, some goldenrod. So these all come on strands. You get a bunch of strands. These are 4mm. So here's our 4s. So we looked at the 5s just now. These are 4s, so they're a little bit smaller, and you've got all of these strands to play with. I think sometimes we like the loose beads, but sometimes we like to have them on strands. So this is another one that's available. I would add this to your cart because look, I mean, the 4th of July is just right here in your hand. So this is really fun, really cool collection of Czech crystal strands. Really, really fun. So I'm going to move all of these guys off my table because I don't want beads to fly everywhere. That has been known to happen to me. So I'm going to move everything off to the side, get everything out of the way, because we're going to do something fun. So we've got about 30 minutes, and I have not perfected this technique, but I'm excited about it, and maybe you can perfect it by playing around a little bit more. So I'm going to be using some 6mm bicones. So check out these bicones. So these are nice, big, and I've used a lot of these. So these are our 6mm Mr. Kitty Sparkle Crystal Bead Extravaganza bead mixes. And these are nice and substantial. So I thought, let's do something fun here. Let's take these, and I've picked some of the colors out. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. So this is what I did. I created this fun little bracelet. Now, I will say it's not perfect, but it's super fun and super colorful and a great way to use your 6mm bicones. So this would also be good with the 6mm rounds that we were looking at earlier. So I used, for this particular piece, I used some Econoflex from Softflex, and I did find some at Beadahlique.com. I dropped whatever I could into the shopping bag. I don't know how much quantity was there, but this is the fine version of Softflex. It is their economical version of their Softflex wire. I'm going to be using black so that you can really see what I'm doing today. I think the color that is in the shopping bag is different. So, thank you, Santa Barbara girl. Oh, and Lorraine, I love that. So I'm going to use Midnight Black, but you can also use Beadalon 7 strand. And I don't know if this is still available. I think some of the wire that I put in the show may be sold out, but this is an alternative. I did try this technique with the 7. And if you can't get your hands on either one of these, I'm sure you guys have some in your stash, some wire that you can work with, but we're going to create this fun bracelet. We're going to use the 6mm bicones, and then we're going to use one of my favorite size 11 Toho seed beads. This is in nickel. So it's kind of an antique silver color. So I'm going to actually get my beading mat out so that you might get a better view of what I'm doing. This will lighten up the background a little bit. And this kind of looks a little wonky, and it is a little wonky, but it's super fun. So we'll put that off to the side for a second. And then I'm going to put the beads here, and then I'm going to grab a tray and I'm going to pour some seed beads in. And you can actually do this without the seed beads if you want. I did try a few rounds without the seed beads and found that that works as well. And you will need a couple of crimps. So I'm using a size 2 crimp tube. Let it focus. So there's a crimp tube. And that, we'll need that. And then a lobster claw, which may be in the show. Gosh, Michelle or Eric, if I didn't put one in, I'm sorry. I've also got a couple of 6mm jump rings here, but you could use a different size jump ring as well. So we'll set those off to the side. We won't need those till the very end, but I will need to start with a crimp tube. And what I'm going to do is grab some of the Econoflex, and I'm going to pull off about, what did I say? I think about almost 3 feet of this Econoflex, and it's going to get shorter because we're going to be doing some kind of crisscross weaving of this wire through the beads. So I'm going to snip that off. And by the way, if you're looking for tools, tools are also included in the 20% off sale. So I've got tools in the show today, but there are certainly other tools that are available on the website. So here's my wire. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to match up my ends of the wire. And then I'm going to put a crimp tube on to both ends. And then I'm going to pull that down. And I want to create a loop at one end. So I'm going to create just a nice size loop, not a huge loop, not a small loop, just kind of somewhere in between. And I'm going to hold those wires apart so that I can crimp, get a nice crimp here. And just going to put that in the crimping pliers and crimp. And then we're going to crimp the other direction. And we've got our crimped end of our piece. Now, the first couple of beads that we put on are probably the hardest. So we're just going to pick a color, and I'm not going to be super picky about which colors I pick. But I'm going to take the bead and I'm going to put the wire through I'm going to put one wire through, and then I'm going to take the other wire on the other side, and I'm going to put that through. So this Econoflex and the 7-strand beading wire from Beadalon will go through these beads. You'll be able to get 2 strands through. So then I'm going to pull this down, all the way down. We want to get it down to the bottom here, close to that crimp. And the first one is really kind of tough to get into the right spot. Yeah, see, I just pulled one side too hard. So here we go. That's just about right. So I want it to sit this way, okay? And let's see, Santa Barbara Girl says, nothing will shake you after this group. I must have missed something. So I've got my first bead on, and then I'm going to grab a couple of seed beads. I'm going to put a seed bead on one strand and then put a seed bead on the other strand. And it's hard to, this wire is a little wieldy, but I would just let them fall down like this. And then I'm going to grab another one of our bicones, and I'm going to come back up, and I'm going to put my wires through the bead. So I've got one wire in one hand and one wire in the other hand. Put them both through, and then I'm going to pull, and I want that to come down. And it's going to be a little wonky, you guys. Just trust me, it's a little wonky, but it's okay. It's okay, because this will also kind of, it will relax as you start to wear it. So just like that, we've got 2 beads on, and we're just going to repeat this. And we're going to get our seed beads. So you're going to do seed beads on each side. So on each wire, we're working with 2 wires, and we're going to let those drop down. Come on, buddy. Come down. There we go. So let them drop down, and it's going to want to flip on you. It's going to want to do all kinds of things. It's okay. Just take your time. And then we're going to take our next bead, and we're going to put those through. And if you're just joining, we are doing a sparkle party today, because we've been looking at and working with the amazing Mr. Kitty Sparkle Crystal Bead Extravaganza bead mixes. And there are quite a few of them. I highly suggest going over to the shopping bag and taking a look at all of the ones that are available. There were a couple of other ones that were available before, but they are sold out. So everything that's left is available, and it's 20% off in the Beadahlique closing sale. So no coupon code is required. You can just drop them into your shopping cart, and I highly suggest grabbing one of each of the sizes and the shapes, and then you've got so much sparkle to work with. It'll last you quite a while. You can make so many projects with all this sparkle. So I'm putting on my next bead, and this wire is going to want to take control. You take control of the wire. So this is what we look like. We've got these little loops of beautiful beads, and the seed beads will move around, and I actually love that. So that to me kind of makes this a really extra special project, because you've got some movement, and that movement is something that if you're a fidgeter, you have something to fidget with while you're wearing it. So I just think that's super fun. I just did fling that size 11 seed bead somewhere in this room. I don't know where it went. Okay, so we've got our seed beads on now, and we're going to pull out our next bead. I am being thoughtful of not using the same bead next to the bead I just put on, but you can do this whatever way you'd like. You can do kind of a color blocking effect. So I've got my beads through, and I'll pull that down, and you can kind of hold on to this. So one way I was doing it was holding on to the piece and then pulling my wires tight. So that's one way I was kind of trying to take control, but the wire wants to do its own thing. It does have some stiffness to it. So, it does want to do its own thing. So let's see, I'm going to use this half, this is like a half silver, half black. So it's kind of got that silver finish on it, which is super fun. And again, like you can pull out whatever whatever beads you want out of this particular mix and work with them. So I'm going to take those ends and pull them down. I'm going to hold on to my piece and pull on that next bead. So, and Zakaya is saying, love the, oh my gosh, I can't see, the ladder style bracelet. Okay, thank you, Zach. Yes, this is a ladder stitch, for lack of a better term. This can be done with all different kinds of beads. So this would also work with your rounds that we looked at. So we had some 6mm sparkle. They're in the shopping bag, and they are also great, a great size for this. You could do smaller, like the 5mm, maybe even the 4. I did not try those. But that would work, I'm sure, if you gave it a shot. And I always say, if you want to see if something works, try it. So that's how I like to do things. Just try it. So I pulled these out yesterday, and I pulled out the wire, and I just said, I'm just going to see how this works, see how all of this comes together. And I love the fact that this bracelet has so much color to it. So getting a bracelet that just goes with so many things. And it's the kind of thing that's very giftable, because maybe you don't know someone's color preference, but if you give them all the colors, then they're happy. So that's what we're looking like. I'm just going to keep going. You guys doing okay out there? We are going to do a giveaway today. So if you are sitting out on Facebook or YouTube, I'm giving you a little bit of time to go ahead and jump over to beadahlique.com/live, or you can just go to beadahlique.com. And when you go there, my face is going to pop up at the bottom of your screen. So you can click on that, and that is how I'll be able to see your participation in the giveaway. So otherwise, I can't see it. So if you want to be eligible for the giveaway today, gotta come over to beadahlique.com/live. Now, if you find that these get a little bit wonky, you can adjust them as you go. So you can pull on these and still adjust them along the way. So you're not stuck if you don't get too far on your piece. So I'm gonna add another round of seed beads. And this gets a little bit easier when you start getting further into the bracelet, because you're working with less wire. So the wire just wants to take control of the situation. And that's the hardest part, is it just wants to be the boss. So we're just crisscrossing. And if you wanted to, you could also do this with thread. So you could grab like a 1G or some ambient beading thread, and it would have a different look because it wouldn't be as stiff. So you'd get, you wouldn't get these, these big loops. You would have kind of a tighter look, but that's another way that you can play with this technique. Somebody's having a birthday? Who's having a birthday? Happy birthday to whoever is having a birthday. So I think that's worthy of more sparkle party, right? More sparkle for the birthday. I didn't put a seed bead on this side. So we are doing all kinds of fun sparkle projects, and this is a ladder stitch style bracelet. Just a fun technique, fun to play with the wire and the beads. A great way to use these sparkle bicones and any of the rounds that are available. So here we go. Just like this, you guys, pretty sparkle on this bracelet. And I know this is a bit repetitive, but this is how this project goes. And if you, I'll show towards the end here another peek at all of the other things that I made with our sparkle bead mixes, the Mr. Kitty sparkle bead mixes. They are so cool, so fun, and they are Czech. They are Czech crystal. So they're from the Czech Republic instead of China or Austria, which you might be more familiar with. So let me get this next one on and show you how that comes together, just like that. So fun. All right, I'm seeing lots of comments coming through. Carrie's here from Georgia. Hi, Carrie. Thanks for being here. So if you missed the beginning of the show, Julie Bean and I are going to be splitting duties with 3 lives in the course of a week. So if you want to come over and join us here at Beadahlique.com, we are doing 3 lives in a week. So Julie will be live on Mondays and Thursdays. I will be live here on Tuesdays. So we'll be partying and doing all kinds of fun stuff through the closure of Beadahlique. So it's sad, but we're going to have as much fun as we can until the doors close. So you can join us here. You can learn some things. You can shop. And the sale right now is 20% off of everything. So it is the time to get stuff because things are already selling out. I was on the site the other day looking for something, and sadly, what I was looking for was no longer available. So things are going fast. So we want you to take advantage of a great sale and get some goodies home to you and enjoy some fun projects and some fun jewelry making. I know you all are here because you love jewelry making. So grab some goodies. And shopping is easy in the live show. You can just click on that shopping bag and you can see everything that's available in the show. And you don't have to leave the show. And you can even do that if you're watching the replay. So if you're watching at Beadahlique.com/live, that's how you can do it. All right, so here we are getting a little closer on our bracelet. This is what she's looking like, and it's just a little fun piece. And Sandy says she's stocking up on delicas. That's amazing. So think about the things, you guys, that you like normally don't maybe have, don't want to spend the money on. Maybe your beading budget is blown because the price is just not working for you. But with a 20% off sale, you can get so many great things and you're getting it at a deal. So it's a great time to stock up. I know it's a sad reason, but let's face it, we got to take advantage of that sad thing and turn it into a good thing. So, all right. So here we've got our pretty bracelet coming along. I'm just going to add a few more beads and then we'll wrap this one up. And I think maybe, let's see what we're coming in on. We've got maybe a few more minutes. I'm going to just do one more call to you guys to come over to Beadahlique.com/live and join us over here if you want to participate in the giveaway. And I'll tell you what the giveaway is. It's getting some sparkle home to you. So we're going to get you one of these Mr. Kitty sparkle bead extravaganza mixes. And you'll have some to work with. And if you've already got them, then you've got more. You've got more beads to work with. So that's going to be our giveaway today. And it's a great value. So I'm hoping that everybody will come over to the live and join us here. And you can be eligible for the giveaway. So we've got, I'm going to get a couple more beads on, and then I think we can do the giveaway. Are we getting more coming over, Michelle and Eric? Are we getting some people coming over, jumping over from our other viewing places? And if you don't want to come over, that's okay too. We love that you're watching us on Facebook and YouTube. And especially if you're not watching live, you can't really participate in the giveaway anyway, but we appreciate your watches and your views and all of your love. All right, I'm just going to quickly do a fit check here. I need a few more beads. So while I add some more beads, okay, everybody get ready. So our giveaways work like this. I'm going to ask a question, and Michelle is going to brace herself for the flurry of answers, but you must be at beadahlique.com/live. And you must answer first in the comments with the correct response. Now, there has been, the question is coming, there has been a heat wave across this country. Everybody's talking about how hot it is. I live in Arizona. It's really hot here. But I would like to ask you the following question. And again, the first person to answer correctly in the comments will win. And Michelle is going to find that person in the flurry of comments. So here's your question. Where is the hottest place on earth? Go. Where is it? Where's the hottest place on earth? Drop your response into the comments, and you will be eligible for the giveaway. I see lots of comments. Has to be the correct. I just saw the correct answer. And Michelle is probably scrolling, trying to get your responses. It's so hard to pick the winner out of these things. So do we have a winner? Did I see we got a winner? Michelle did find a winner. Yay, congratulations. So it is Death Valley, and amazingly, Death Valley, which is in California, remains the hottest place on earth. I think the hottest temperature ever recorded there was like 134 degrees, which when you live in Arizona, sounds even hot to us. So we get into the teens, but that's hot. So that is a little bit crazy. So thank you all for participating. And it looks like Michelle's given instructions on how to, it looks like Benita is the winner. So it looks like you've got instructions on how to claim your prize. You're going to get some sparkle. So we're going to get you some sparkle so that you can do some fun things like what I'm doing today. So let's finish this up, you guys. Thank you all for participating. I appreciate your participation, and we're going to keep the giveaways going too. So I have all of my ladders, all of my pretty colors, and they might not all be perfect, but I'm totally fine with that because this will calm down and will mellow out as you wear it. So at the end of my piece, I'm going to do something that I don't normally do, but this is the best way that I could think of to finish this off. So I'm going to take a crimp tube. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. And I'm going to add my crimp tube, and I'm just going to add it like I'm adding a bead. And I want to make sure I've got a loop, a nice size loop, because I'm going to use this to kind of be the end of my piece. And I need to be able to get a crimping plier in here. So this is going to be a little challenging, but I'm going to get my crimping pliers right in there. So right into that, that little loop that I created. So I want to put that into the back channel, and I'm going to crimp, do my first crimp, and then I'm going to crimp again. So I'm going to do the full crimp process, and get my nice folded crimp there. And I've got this loop here, okay? And I'm going to trim off these ends. So I'm gonna move all of this out of the way, and I'm gonna trim off my excess wire because we don't need it anymore. And if you're using a good flush cutter, you can get pretty close to that crimp, but you might have a little bit left over, which should be okay. If you can get back in there and get it, that's better. So I've got a loop here and a different looking loop at the other end, totally fine. And again, this looks wonky, but it will settle down as you wear it and as you continue to show it off to your friends. And I'm gonna grab 2 of my jump rings, and I'm gonna first of all attach my lobster. So let me grab, I need some chain nose pliers. I'll reach over and grab them. So I've got my chain nose pliers, and I'm gonna open up my jump ring. You should always open up by twisting, never pulling. And I'm gonna put the lobster at this end where I had my start of the project, and I'm gonna attach my lobster claw to that. And by the way, if you are using another color other than black, the black shows up really nicely, but it looks really different with just a regular, like a silver tone wire. That gives it another vibe. And maybe you've got a different color wire, maybe a gold or something else. Each one is going to make this look a little bit different, which is really fun. So I'm going to add a jump ring at this end, but quite honestly, you don't necessarily need a jump ring here to attach your lobster. You could attach directly onto your wire. I would like to have a little bit of a heavier something to attach my lobster to. So this is what we'll do. So we'll just open up our lobster and attach to our jump ring, and that's how we're finishing it off. So this is our pretty little ladder stitch sparkle bracelet. So much fun. I'm going to put this one on. So it's always hard to do this on camera, and I'm going to cheat and use my bracelet buddy and see if I can get this on camera. Yay. Okay, so this one actually fits me really good, and it sits nice on my wrist. So I would suggest going a little bit smaller so it's kind of not tight, but close to the wrist. And that way it will encourage all of the wonkiness to settle down. But look at all of that fun sparkle, that fun crystal. Thank you for the hearts, you guys. This is what all that sparkle can do for you. Just a really fun and fabulous bracelet. Really, really cool. And I'm going to flip and show you everything again that I showed off at the beginning of the show. So here's our bracelet, a different view. I love that. So much fun. Then I also showed you a memory wire bracelet with the sparkle. These were with the little squished bicones. My interpretation of that. And then I'll show you this one again. This is a wire wrapped bangle. This is with the 4mm rounds. Really pretty. And then I love these earrings. So these are our little yellow and tiara cast connector earrings. Super pretty, very, very feminine. And just another sample, just a little bangle with just a few of those sparkle rounds. These are the 6mm rounds. So get yourself some sparkle. Have your own sparkle party. This was a fun sparkle party for me. I'm glad that you were all here with me at beadahlique.com/live. Please don't forget to close out your carts because remember, Beadahlique is closing. So everything is 20% off. People are just dropping things into their shopping cart and running. So if you've put stuff into your cart, you don't want to miss out. Sometimes if you put it there and come back later, it's gone. So we want you to get those beautiful things home, get some sparkle home to you, get some of these other fun things to work with and add your sparkle to. And yeah, we've got a lot of fun things planned as the closing sale continues. So I hope that you will join us. Julie will be here on Thursday. I have an idea of what she might be doing on Thursday. I'm sure you're going to love it. And then we'll start again next week, Monday and Tuesday. I'll be here Tuesday. So I hope you'll join me again. I thank you all for welcoming me here at the Beadahlique family. And thank you guys so much for being here. Love you all. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Go make something and make something sparkly. All right, I'll see you guys. Bye.